React compiler is definitely exciting, but I'm not sure why no one's talking about this specific change. After this got introduced in Next.js 13, oh boy, it was so damn frustrating. But in Next.js 15, they have fixed it for good. Fetch requests will be cached by default. This was a huge change, and it was so damn frustrating when you don't see your data updated when you start making API requests. So with Next.js 15, this is no longer the case. Fetch requests are no longer going to be cached by default. So in this specific video, let's do a deep dive on the caching behavior in Next.js 15 and compare that to a previous version so we know exactly what we need to do and be aware of. So let's dive in. In Next.js 15, the caching behavior changes forever. In a previous version, the Next.js team added the additional ability to opt out of caching, but by default, you definitely get the caching behavior. So, for example, if you use the browser fetch API, which a lot of us do to fetch any sort of API requests, then by default, the option was cache, force cache. That means even if you don't pass any options, it's going to be cached by default. But that changes in Next.js 15. In Next.js 15, now that is no longer the case. This means fetch requests will no longer be cached by default. If you take a look at this diagram, these are the three different data fetching mechanisms inside of Next.js. One is static side generation, incremental static regeneration, and server side rendering. In static side generation, things definitely get cached by default, but you can specify after how long the cache would get purged and we will refetch new data from the server. In server side rendering, there's no cache and it fetches each and every time. But in Next.js 14, if you use fetch, this means that cache force cache was automatically there by default, even if you didn't provide the specific option inside of fetch. But in Next.js 15, this changes. This is no longer the default. In fact, server side rendering is now the default. This means anytime you make a request, it is going to be refetched anytime a user refreshes the page or navigates from one page to the other. Which is really important to note because if you upgrade your application, then you need to be mindful and careful of that. But more on that later. Now, enough of these diagrams. Let's take a look at a code example and we will talk about some of the things you need to be careful of in the future now. Let's quickly walk through the differences between Next.js 15 caching and 14 caching. Now, this specific app uses Next.js 15, which is a release candidate released a few weeks ago. And it uses the caching behavior that has completely changed now. We are displaying a list of products and we are also displaying the number of products here. Similarly, it's an identical app which uses Next.js 14. This means that the caching behavior in this specific is different. It's cached by default in Next.js 14. So for example, I'm generating a list of products by using a app called as mock API. It is a pretty cool. Here you can create a project and then call it whatever you want. And then at this point, you could basically generate whatever random products or any other data that you want as well. Then we get this specific API endpoint and we can generate as many products as we want over here. It's all dynamic. So now let's say I'm going to generate about 20 products. Now remember, so far we have 5 products. Now in a Next.js 15 app where the fetch caching behavior has changed, it has gone from caching by default to server side rendering. If we refresh the page, you can now see that the number of products are 20, which is exactly what we created right here. But similarly, if we do the same thing in a Next.js 14 app, if we refresh the page, you will see that it's still 5. The number of products has not gone up. And that is because in Next.js 14, it is essentially caching by default. So, because the caching behavior in Next.js 14 is force cache versus no store. This means that in order for us to get the list of new products, then we need to purge the cache, which is really important piece over here. So that's the demo. So now let's take a look at the code. Let's quickly check out the code now. So in Next.js 15, we have the app directory and we have the specific page called as fetch. Now in this page, we are essentially invoking the same mock API that we saw. It's a simple fetch API request. It returns a promise. We're getting the JSON from it and displaying it on the home page. So this specific get data function essentially does get invoked in home, and then we are essentially looping through it and displaying the length on top over here on line 27, and then the list of products here as well by displaying the name. Now let's focus on the specific data function. Since this is Next.js 15, we are using the released candidate right now. By default, the fetch behavior is in fact no store. If you want to change the fetch behavior, or we want it to cache by default, then we need to change it to cache force cache. So let's add that. So let's add the cache property and let's add force cache right here. So now the minute we do that, if we go to release candidate Next.js 15 and let's say we refresh the page, now nothing's going to happen because obviously the number of products has not changed. But let's change them to 12, and if we go back here and refresh the page, again we now have the same behavior where the caching is available by default. So this is one tweak you can definitely make, that let's say you want to take advantage of all the latest and greatest changes of Next.js 15 but without having to deal with any breaking changes yet. Then you could add essentially cache as force cache wherever you had the default behavior upgrading from Next.js 14 to Next.js 15. Now, this is something to keep in mind. Now, the incremental static regeneration and behavior stays the same, so we don't need to worry about that. Now, let's say inside of Next.js 14, if you want to get the latest data as well, what we could do is again, it's the exact same app. We have the fetch API call, but in this case, cache is by force cache. Cache is force cache, which is going to cache by default. So I'm going to say it's going to be no store. And the minute I do that, you can see that now the number of products is in fact 12. So you can essentially play with the behavior here with fetch in between the versions, but make sure that when you're upgrading your application from one version to the other, you take into account the specific caching behavior. And the main thing you need to watch out for when it comes to caching is that, let's say now the performance of your app has improved drastically because you're using Next.js and because you had the default caching behavior and you really loved it. Then you could add the additional property that I talked about by cache to be force cache when you upgrade to Next.js 15, so you have the exact same behavior. But it might also be a good time for you to reevaluate your caching strategy too. Let's say you have way too many pages and a lot of fetch API requests, which a lot of big applications do, then it's time to create a good caching strategy over there as well. Instead of getting whatever defaults we get from the frameworks that we use, let's take a close look at what the exact caching strategy, the exact caching mechanism you want in every fetch API request that your application has. This way, even if the framework changes, you don't have to worry too much about it because you can be mindful of that. Now, there's one more thing you need to be mindful of. Now, the get route handlers are no longer cached by default as well. This means that in Next.js 14, route handlers that uses the get HTTP method were cached by default, and but in Next.js 15, if you're using the get functions and they are no longer cached by default, you can opt into caching by adding this specific property export dynamic is equals to for static. But keep this in mind that special route handlers such as sitemap, open graph, icon, and other metadata files that are listed right here in this specific document, they are essentially going to still be cached, but anything that uses the get functions are not going to be cached by default. There's one more change. Now, the client router cache no longer caches the page components by default. They introduced an experimental stale times flag to allow custom configuration of the router cache. But in Next.js 15, this flag still stays, but they're changing the default behavior to have stale time of 0 for page segments as well. And you could tweak that by updating the stale times dynamic to 30, but again, that's something to keep in mind as well. They're changing the default behavior again back to the same feedback that they received. And a lot of us gave the same feedback too, that caching had to be reevaluated. How they interacted with projects, now they're including partial pre rendering, and also third party libraries that use fetch also needed to add that additional capabilities and specific handlers so that the developers get the option of specifying any sort of caching heuristics as possible. So this reduces a ton of work for a lot of developer libraries as well. And other important behaviors that still remain unchanged are: if you have a shared layout data, it won't be refetched from the server to continue support for partial rendering. By the way, let me know if you're interested in learning more about what partial pre-rendering is in the comments below. So there are other caching behaviors too that changes inside of Next.js 15. Thank you so much for checking out this specific video. If you love this and want me to cover more changes in Next.js 15, then please comment below and let me know what is it that you would love to learn more about. If there's something that you find really confusing, let me know in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.